All right, you all. I am sitting here with Mr. Deonte Brown from Prime Connect, CEO and co-founder.
Yep.
Thank you for joining me.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so
Yes,
much for having
yes.
me.
I am so happy that you are
Yeah,
here.
thank you.
Yeah.
This is dope, by the
I'm
way.
happy to have you. I'm happy that you have blessed the Conversations with Courtney podcast
For sure.
with your presence.
Thank you.
So, you've been connecting people in Indianapolis. How's that been?
Yeah, it's been crazy. I think when we first started like Prime, I wasn't expecting like for the ripple effect to be what it is now.
Mhm.
But like watching how I feel like Indianapolis is like changing to this like more connected city and like collaborative city, and feeling like that we're a part of that has been like super dope. So
Yeah.
like, yeah, for sure.
I mean, because you guys are kind of blazing the trail.
Yeah, for sure.
I've been to a few of you all's events,
Yeah.
and it's been great turnout.
Yeah, thank you.
I feel like we have come from an era where people used to say there's nothing to do in Indianapolis,
Yeah,
and now
for sure.
I feel like it's growing. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, I was actually talking to I think Monty about this, like how we didn't have like very much going on, to that point, I think that it's because people weren't like working together or like trying to build something together, and now that we are, we like, okay, how can we like define Indianapolis culture ourselves?
How can we collaborate? And grow the social scene?
Exactly.
Yeah, I feel like the social scene has come such a long way in some way.
Yeah. I think that like COVID definitely like helped fine tune that because people realized like how much they desired that.
Yeah.
Like, so I think these communities started.
It's kind of like when it
Indy.
opened back up, it was like, okay, let's take advantage of what we have right here.
Exactly.
I don't know if I told you, but I lived in Iowa for about a little over a year. No social scene.
Really?
And the social scene that you do get from it, it's nothing compared to here.
Do you think that people have the idea of Iowa like as they do of like Indy? Because I know a lot of people, like especially when you go to like a LA, like California.
Yeah, like you're from Indy,
like what's out there?
Corn? So do you live corn? Yeah,
exactly.
Do you live in the middle of cornfields?
Yeah, exactly.
I can honestly say, living in Waterloo, Iowa, there is cornfields. Like you have to pass like a cornfield, a farm, actually multiple farms to get to a Walmart.
Yeah.
There's only 2 Walmarts, 2 Targets, 1 Chick-fil-A, like there's only either 2 or 1 of something.
Yeah.
So I believe that people probably do think, when we say we're from Indianapolis, they're like, oh,
okay, what's out there?
Yeah.
I'm like, it's actually popping. Like, don't sleep on the city at all.
People say, I know that this is bad, but they're like, black people are from Indy, and it's like
1,000%. Like, what do you think?
But honestly, that's kind of how Iowa was. Like, it's only 5% black. It may have grown since then. I haven't checked the numbers, but that was definitely, the vibe there. Yeah. Do you feel like our social scene has a lot to do with the dating scene and why maybe some people are struggling in Indy? I've heard a lot of people are struggling. I don't know for sure.
Yeah. So, man, the dating scene is crazy. All the time. I feel like that's anywhere you go, especially right now because everybody's like locked in. But I don't think it necessarily has to do with our social scene. I think it just has to do with like what everybody's looking for. Personally, I was going to say something else.
I mean, be honest.
But the social scene, I think that people are just looking for a very specific thing, and I don't know if they are just in the right spots to find that specific thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like. Yeah, I think just people go to the wrong places and they expect to find other things and then they don't find it there.
Yeah, it's kind of like, okay, we're going to go to this networking event expecting, or maybe I shouldn't say expecting, but hoping to find love, but maybe walking away with, you just got a business connection.
Yeah. Well, and like the reality is like people go to the club thinking the same thing. And I'm like, and then they'll be like, oh, well, all the men are the same. Like, but you're looking for all the men in the same spot.
Yeah.
So obviously they're gonna frequent that area. You're gonna find similar qualities in those people.
Right.
And then definitely like if you come to a networking event, like you come to a networking event trying to talk to me, you know how I am. When I'm at my events, I'm business. Obviously I want to meet people, but that's not the location. I'm thinking about how it can be expansive in a city, how it can be impactful in a city.
Exactly.
So like, yeah, I think I don't think it directly reflects it, but I think where you frequent reflects the dating scene.
Very true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You're probably going to run into certain people, the caliber of people, by what you do.
Right. Exactly.
You know, and where you hang and who you hang out with.
And I think a lot of people don't even, I think what feeds into it is people don't even know themselves. Like they don't even know, okay, like for me, I like going to places like where I can hear live music and spoken word and jazz and stuff like that. And obviously if I like that and I know that I like that, right, then I'm gonna go to places like that. Other people that are in those places know that they like that. And that's when you can find the commonalities rather than just being like two people meeting at the club and it's just like,
right,
y'all just here just to drink and go crazy. But when you know yourself, then you know how to position yourself to find somebody that's compatible. You feel me?
Okay, look at you giving dating.
You know, just giving a little bit of advice.
Yes. So speaking of like you knowing yourself and like what you like to do and where you like to go, talk to me about Spot or Drop.
Yeah, so that idea kind of came from out of nowhere. I love like Indianapolis. Like, I genuinely love our city. I think that people don't realize like how valuable of a city we have.
You're from here, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I genuinely love these cities, and then I love business. So I feel like that the people that frequent here, the people that visit here, the people that live here deserve like good places in order to like help define what Indianapolis is. So Spot or Drop came about because it's not just me going and like visiting these dope spots, because it's that too, giving a highlight to these good spots. But it's also a sense of holding these other companies accountable, like these other restaurants and experiences accountable. Like if you're giving bad service, if you like not like holding up your end of the bargain when it comes to customer service and like quality food and experience, then why would like anybody recommend you going there? So it's like it's me showing people like, oh yeah, this is some dope stuff. Like, because a lot of stuff I try to do things that are not common.
Yeah.
And then also holding the companies that I go to accountable as well.
And that you did.
Yeah.
Because we went to Social Cantina. And
that was terrible.
We went to Social Cantina with a group of people.
Yeah.
It was Adam and Brandon, Devon, and Caleb. We went to Social Cantina, and they did not do us justice.
So I'll give you breaking news here on your show. So y'all watching, y'all get to hear the background. Someone from the Social Cantina like management team reached out to my friends and told them, demanded that I take the video down.
Demand?
And I said absolutely not.
You go by demand?
Yeah, exactly.
You're just giving an honest review of your experience.
And that's the reason why if you watch that video, I stop and say, now this is just my experience. This is my individual experience, my individual opinion. You may go there and have a different service and have better food, but this is my individual experience. And then when people get underneath the comments and they say I had the same experience, well,
my mama, we went there. She was like,
which one? You went to the one downtown?
Downtown. Yeah, before you made the video.
Really?
Yes. And so I've been there a few times. I went with my mom and then another set of friends. We went there. Yeah. That time it was okay. But the time I went with my mom, we both were like, it was just okay. Yeah. And then when we went, I was like, oof, they are really not.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting. Because I was like, rather than hold your own staff and your do some training, you decide to spend the time or trying to reach out to somebody that I know
instead of reaching out to you.
Instead of reaching out to the staff or even like apologizing for the experience, which I don't care. I'm going to say what I feel like is true. One thing about my Spot or Drop series too, like I'm not just looking for spots and just being like, oh, these are good spots. Like, and I'm gonna just give everybody a good rating because
then people won't believe you.
Right.
They'll be like, okay, he says that about everything.
Right. But I'm also not going to like say a company's bad when the company's good, and not just for like the wow factor.
Exactly.
Like, but me and Brandon were talking about this. Like, it's hard to find bad places in India. It genuine. I think we do a really good job at like the experience. The food quality is like really good here.
And just FYI, like that is not the only location. There's another location in Carmel, from my knowledge. Do you know if any more locations?
I don't know.
Okay, because
but
I
a
know
lot
it's
of
the
people,
downtown and the Carmel.
yeah, a lot of people have told me that I should go to the Carmel location.
The Carmel location to me is better.
Mm-hmm.
The Carmel location is better to me.
Yeah, there you go.
To
Because
me.
people go be like, no, it's
Yes.
not no better.
I like
It's
the
the same.
aesthetics
Yeah.
much better. I think that the food is prepared much better. And I think that has everything to do with management.
Yeah,
as
1,000%.
well.
Like I said, the management team reached out. So it just tells you that they're not willing to hold themselves accountable. So Social Cantina.
So what did they say?
Well, they just said that I need to take the video down. I don't know why, because it's my social media. Because I'm giving a bad representation of them, and I'm like, well, this is the experience.
Oh, okay.
I got lawyers. I have lawyers.
Yeah.
Believe me, they are on retainer. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Please.
Talk to my lawyer.
Look, that don't mean I want to go spend the money, but I have attorneys. Okay?
Right. But you know how they like to make threats because they think that they're intimidating someone.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, just because you gave me bad service don't mean that.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, take it on the chin.
Yeah,
and
for
just
sure.
do better. But
yeah, exactly.
I mean, what did you feel like didn't make the experience as great as it could have been?
Yeah. So, one thing I know that it's the level, there's like this balance of like, we're super busy, so we're waiting a long time, or like we're super busy just because, or excuse me, we're waiting a long time just because. And as we were looking around, you were there. It wasn't that busy.
No.
And for us to have waited 40 minutes just to get like our first round of drinks, and then our water is not refilled, like it's those small details, like ensuring that when people come, like they have a good experience, the water is refilled, because
I thought our waiter was kind of cold.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
He was like, what do y'all want?
Yeah, exactly.
That's how it felt.
And then the thing that really grinds my gears, and I hope to God that I can push some type of legislation to make this change, is I get it, I understand it, but I do not like automatic gratuity. Like I don't, because 90% of the time, if you add automatic gratuity, I was going to tip you more anyway than what you put. But now since you took it upon yourself to just automatically put it on there, then a lot of the time I'm just like, all right, well, that's what you want. That's what you want.
Yeah. That's what you get.
But I have my opinion about automatic gratuity, which again, I've been in the service industry. I never did that. I tried even with a bigger party. Like I'm served at banquets. I just never.
Do they get to choose, or I thought the restaurant just automatically does it?
I don't. I've been at the table with just me and somebody else, and I got automatic gratuity. So like sometimes they're like, oh, it's because of the size of the table, but I've had
what that got to do with us?
Yeah, exactly.
Even if it's just two of us, what does that have to do with y'all adding gratuity?
Yeah, but like the thing is, I've had it also to where like I got the automatic gratuity, but the service was so good that I'm like, bro, like this, I'm gonna still tip you. Yeah. On top of that, I'm gonna tip you what I was gonna tip you.
I typically do that as well, and I think they have some type of system where, like, when you do get tips, if you use your card, they split the tips among other people. So sometimes my family and I, we like to use cash, so that server gets that money.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, finish telling me about spot or drop.
Yep. Yeah. So also like to I like to mention parking. I feel like especially in downtown Indy, like parking is so important because that's going to determine whether or not people are going. A lot of the time.
First of all, shout out to Katira. Because Katira, she used to be a reporter at Wish. And we anytime, because we lived 3 minutes from each other when she was here. And anytime someone hosted something, she'd be like, Lord, it's downtown. And don't let there be two events back to back, like one event on Friday and one event on Saturday. She said, somebody gonna have to miss out on my presence because I'm not going downtown and then doing something else. And that's true because we work downtown, so no one wants to travel downtown, constantly.
The reason why I mentioned the parking is because I do not like Park Mobile at all. So whenever a company has alternatives, I'm taking that alternative. And also for the mall to be $7 parking, and that mall is the worst mall in human history. Right now, I'm telling you right now.
That mall ain't got nothing.
I don't want to cook the mall because I know they doing stuff with it right now, but let me just say it's more than humans running around in that mall. So I would advise You're not going around.
That mall used to be.
Bro, that was the spot.
That mall used to be
Literally.
great. I mean, it had a Baker's. It had a. I mean, Forever 21 is still there, but it had so many different stores.
Yeah.
Victoria's Secret, all of those things. Now it's like a ghost town.
Yeah, I mean, but during All-Star Weekend, it was booming.
Yeah, it was.
Like, so we could.
It kind of reminded me of the old days.
Yeah,
it's
for
like,
sure. Because I used to be a kid going in there. My mom used to take us trick or treating there.
Yeah. Well, they put butter in there too, like in the art garden, arts garden area. So a lot of people were there. It just had a lot of traffic during All-Star Weekend, and it reminded me of just how it was when I was a teenager, and I would be like, "Mom, can you drop my friends and I off there?" And we go to Aeropostale, and I mean, it had everything, and it still has the movie theater at the top floor, and I think it has an arcade. It used to have an arcade. Yeah. So, anyways,
it used to be popping.
Yeah, I feel like though a lot of city promoters are doing really well with getting like entertainment into Indianapolis. What do you think? Because like we just had Taylor Swift here. I'm not a Taylor Swift fan, but I think it's great to get big name artists to our city because they typically go to Chicago or they'll go to the nearest biggest city.
Yeah, so I agree with you and I don't agree with you at the same time.
Oh, okay. Explain.
Taylor Swift is dope, but you don't see, like, to your point, you don't see like the Drakes coming through. You don't see the Kendricks coming through. And I think the reason why is because we just don't have like that central like club spot that like a Chicago has, or like, and then our biggest stadium is up in
what is it,
Noblesville, Clips or something like that. Clips Music Center.
You mean Ruoff?
Is it Ruoff? It's up north.
I think.
I don't know, but
wait,
I know it's a drive to get out there.
Cambridge was the biggest.
Well, like, but they be holding concerts there?
Yeah, they had just recently. I went to the reunion tour featuring Kirk Franklin, the Clark sisters, Marvin Sapp. So I think it also depends on like how much you can fill the arena.
Yeah,
that they were like, nah, you're not gonna get Cambridge.
See,
we'll give you Ruoff, but
I'm surprised they haven't done like a lot more with the amphitheater too.
Really?
Where's like the one right there on White River?
Oh, right, Riverside, yeah.
So they had Buster. This was funny actually.
No, they didn't. You better not.
During VCon, they had Buster Rhymes. I was front row,
and at the amphitheater.
I was having a blast. He was rapping. I was trying to keep up with him, couldn't. But that was dope. If I was doing spot or drop back then, I would have done that. Yeah,
okay.
Sure. But because it's not just about like restaurants. It's about like actual experience. So like when I went to Indie Screen Park, like that was like.
How was that?
Indie Screen Park was dope. It was a spot for sure. The drive.
Do they allow you to like? Do they gift you with those experiences, or do they like make you pay?
Yeah. So some of them we partner with, so they'll give us me and my team, because it's like a team. It's not just me. I know I'm like the one talking and stuff, but they'll give us like free tickets. Some of them will pay for the food. But I try not to do that because I want it to be fair. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because
so sometimes I'll just pop up in a spot.
It gets a little murky when you do that sometimes because then they're like, you gave us a bad review.
Yeah, exactly.
And then that ruins your partnership.
Exactly. Yeah. But if I already know the spot and then I know it's a good spot and they're like, hey, we want you to come in, then I'm like, all right, cool. Like obviously I was gonna give y'all a good review anyway. Like,
you want to hear a story?
Let's hear it.
Shout out to Anisha.
What happened?
So when Boys to Men came, do you remember when Boys to Men came?
I didn't even know they was still a thing.
So it was during the Legacy Fest.
Okay.
And we went on the behalf of Wish to do coverage. Right. I almost had to fight security.
What?
They was like, so we're not even trying to find Boys to Men. We're trying to find a local group, JSO. And we're like, hi, we want to interview them because we have a segment on All Indiana called The Scoop. We would love to interview them. So they're like, oh, yeah. So they connect us to one person, then to one person. And that's why having connections is good.
The key,
okay, exactly. It's key. Now stick with me.
Yeah.
So they're connecting us to certain people. So finally, we get connected to their social media manager, Mark. And
this is prior to?
This is prior to us finding them.
Gotcha.
So we're following him, like we're in ball gowns. We're like, okay, like we're up, down, and all around stairs in the Madam C.J. Walker building. So we lose him. This man just comes in and he's like, oh, y'all, blah, 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 blah. And we like, sir, we just lost our person. Like, have you ever just seen somebody just like come through, interfere? You like, wait, exactly. Can we? So we lose him. So Big Papa, or whatever name he went by, an older man with a cane, was like, where y'all going? Who y'all looking for? We're like, we're just looking for J-So. He was like, well, I don't know where they are, and y'all can't go in the back. And we're like, sir, we got the press badges. Like, we have the press badges. We are not trying to, whatever you think we're trying to do, exactly. We're not trying to do it. Yeah. Okay? No disrespect to Boyz II Men, but no, we ain't even on that. So
I'm gonna stop this now.
I'm gonna stop this. And he sounded like that. He was like, I'm gonna stop this now. I was like, oh my gosh. So eventually we just say, okay, let's just give it a break, because Big Papa about to kick us out. Like, the security guard came, because we were on the stairwell, and the three security guards were like, hey, y'all can't be back here. And we're like, look, we are looking for the local group J-So, because we want to interview them for our show. And it was like, sorry, he got a command for y'all to leave. Like, not the venue, but we couldn't be backstage. Okay. All right. So we sit down, we like, that same man who interfered, he came, he was like, did y'all find them?
Like, no, because of you. What are you talking about, man?
I would have like, there's a reason why we have been denied access for the time being.
That's hilarious.
So we're sitting, we're enjoying the performance. They go on finally and perform or whatnot. And we finally spot, so it was an intermission. You know, they're like getting ready for Boyz II Men, so a small intermission. Then we finally see their social media manager again. So we jump up, we're like, hey, Marcus, can you get us back here? So, oh yeah. Finally, we got to interview them. They were fantastic, and they were just so honored that we wanted to cover them. We put them on the show. But when I tell you, nobody was trying to, it was like, we're not trying to be on that. You see, we got the media passes. We're professional.
Yeah.
A memory to go down in the books. But connection is important.
Yeah, that's security for you too. Like, sometimes they take their job a little bit way too. I'm like, brother, you're getting paid what you're getting paid. You ain't getting no bonus because you kicked me out. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally.
One kicked out.
Yeah, exactly.
So you get an extra 20.
$20. That's $20 going how you meet me out in the parking lot.
Like, calm down. You're going to be just fine.
Now, to your point, like, I mean, connections that I have got me in a room to sit down with the governor, with Gary Vee, you know what I'm saying, different other artists. And honestly, I feel like I can go almost in any room in India at least, and not to toot my own horn, but in any room and have like some like connection to
some leverage in them
other doors.
Yeah,
getting them other doors. Yeah. And it's not because I'm walking around trying to, oh yeah, I'm trying to use you, blah, blah, blah. But it's just like I build genuine connections, because you want to learn about people and give people a stage, especially to like talk about themselves. And a lot of people reciprocate that. And then when you finally get to know these other people that's behind the door, then you can open up other doors within that one door that you were trying to get into. Does that make sense?
True. Yes. Yes. So, as we kind of come to a close, give people some advice on how to connect without coming across like an opportunist, because that can be a turnoff for people who are in position to help others. I know that working in TV, that can kind of be a little bit of a sticky spot for me, because some people, they have a go-getter attitude so much that they forget to build the relationship, and they're more focused on the opportunity.
Yeah, so like I go by the saying, be the best gardener that you can be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and when I say that, I like you might meet people and this may be the first time you see them and you're like, oh man, I like really want to work with this person. I want to see if I can get a job with this
Mm-hmm.
person. Um, but maybe that's not the time, right? So you want to constantly water that relationship. That's why I say be the best gardener.
Yeah.
And then eventually that relationship will start bearing good fruit just because you constantly watered it. And it's being genuine in like your real self too.
Yeah.
Like don't come off like trying to be something that you're not. Because when you're in the process of you nurturing that relationship, eventually your real self is going to expose itself. So just be really you. And if that person doesn't like that person that you are, then y'all not meant to work together anyway. You
I
know what I
always
mean?
have a saying that what is for you will not miss you,
Yeah.
and you won't have to backfight for it.
Mm-mm.
It will just come so easily, and you
Yeah.
won't have to force anything or feel that you need to perform in a certain way
One thousand
to
percent.
get that
One thousand
opportunity.
percent, yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of people miss that. So like just nurture, like be really you, and be willing to like stay in the long game. Like plants don't blossom overnight. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Weeds do, but weeds ain't good. You know what I'm saying? But when you
Yeah.
want to get fruit and like really have something that's tangible, be in the long game for it, and it'll always work out. And
I
a lot
love
more
that.
doors will open for sure.
That's a sweet spot to end this.
Yeah, yeah, for
Thank
sure. Thank you so much for
you.
having me.